Hello everyone, welcome to Tutor ZM. In this video, we're going to be looking at chemistry, concentration, and molarity. So we have got mass concentration and basically more concentration. So now what we have to understand is that we have got the basic formula when looking at concentration, which is concentration represented by C is equal to m over v is equal to. So that's a basic formula that we're going to be using. So let's look at the first question. So the first question should read, calculate the concentration of the following, giving your answer in grams per decimeter cube and mole per decimeter cubed. So it's saying 2 grams of sugar dissolves in 250 mils of water. So if we have to do this, as I always like to say, if you're given a problem, first you have to collect your data. Even though this is in physics, for chemistry there's also an aspect of collecting data, and then you have to check if everything is in its preferred SI unit. So what we have been given a mass of 2 kg, so we have got mass which is equal to 2 kilograms, and then we have been given volume, and then for volume we have been given as 250 mils. And then if we convert this 250 mils to decimeter cube, that would be 0.25 dm cubed, decimeter cubed. Yeah, so that's what we basically have. So my volume will be equal to 0.25 decimeter cubed. So now let's find concentration. And say concentration, what's our mass? 2 kilograms. And then what's our volume? 0.25 decimeter cubed. So now then our concentration will be therefore equal to, once we divide this, we simply get 8 grams. Oh, we get 8 grams per dm3. So that's the essence of concentration. So now let's go ahead and our question B says calculate the molarity. So let's go ahead and calculate the molarity real quick. Let's go ahead and calculate the molarity. So what you have to understand is that molarity is basically is equal to number of moles over volume. So this is our molarity, number of moles over volume. So now let's see what we can do to calculate. So notice that for this type of question, we weren't given number of moles. So we can find number of moles by using this formula of mole concepts, and say number of moles is equals to mass over molar mass. So all this would be equal to, our mass given is 2 kilograms according to the question. Now what is our molar mass? We have to find the molar mass of sugar. So one thing that you need to understand is that sugar is essentially glucose in this case. And then we know that the formula for glucose is C6H12O6. And then once we find the molar mass of such, we're going to get 180. Oh, sorry. We're simply going to get 180 grams per mole. So this is always per mole. So this is what we get. So I'm simply going to replace with that 180 grams per mole. So if I'll find my number of moles being equal to 0.01 moles, because grams and grams will cancel. Yeah, so now that we found our number of moles as 0.01 moles, let's go ahead and use that to help us solve for what we have been told to solve for. So we have found, so now we can simply say molarity M. Oh, it's like I've erased the third question. Sorry for that. Okay, now let's go ahead to solving for molarity. So I'm simply going to say molarity presented by M, don't mistake that for mass, is equals to number of moles over volume. So this is simply going to be equal. What is our number of moles? 0.01 as we have calculated. 0.01 moles. And then all this will be over. What is the volume given? 0.25 decimeter. Because we remember I converted it to decimeter cubed. So we end up finding our molarity to be equal to 0.04. So this will become 0.04 mole per dmc cubed. So this is mole per dmc cubed. And then this can, if you want, you can represent it as 0.04 with an m for molarity, whichever one, but this one was the one that they suggested that our answer should be left in such. So let's just go ahead and try out another. What have I done? Let's go ahead and try out another question. The other questions. So this other question is saying 2 grams. Oh, it's saying calculate the mass of potassium hydroxide, KOH, which is the formula for potassium chloride compound that needs to be used to prepare 500, that is 500 centimeter cubed of 0.25 mole solution of water. So how can we solve such a question? So when solving such a question, we have to identify what we have been given. So I'm sure you've identified that we've been given the volume, we've been given, and the somehow sort of the molarity. So what we can simply say, in fact the M there isn't for moles but for molarity. So we can say molarity is equal to number of moles over volume. So number of is equal to our molarity. So our molarity is 0.25. So we have 0.25 m for molarity. And then what is our number of moles? We do not have. So for this question, we are required to calculate our number of moles over what is the volume given, 5 dm3. So once we multiply those two, we end up finding that our number of moles are 0.125 moles. And then you can express 0.25 molarity in terms of moles per DMC. So now that you've gotten that figure, we can go ahead and find our mass. So for finding our mass, what we're simply going to say is number of moles is equals to mass over molar mass. So now that we have gotten that, we can simply substitute and see what we get. Let's simply substitute and see what we get. So what our number of moles, we have 0.125 moles, and then all this is equal to mass over, we can find the molar mass of the compound, which is simply 56 grams per mole. So once we solve, we end up finding that our mass, once we multiply, we'll find that our mass will be equal to 7 grams. And just like that, you found your mass. So let's go ahead and do the last example for that was prepared for this video. So the last one is saying calculate the concentration in grams given, yeah, basically that. So if you have gotten the basic concept, feel free to pause the video and try to attempt that question. But if you haven't, we can attempt it together. Let's go ahead and do each together. So first, let's say concentration is equals to mass over volume. So now we have been given a mass of 100 grams. This one is very direct. You just have to plug in and see what you obtain. And then volume, we are given what was my volume given? We're given 300 centimeter cubed. So if we convert 300 centimeter cubed into decimeter, we're going to get 0.3 dm3. So that is what we get after we convert. So we're going to have this will be over 0.3 dm cubed. So then therefore our concentration will be equal to 3, so this will become 333.3 grams per dm3. Yeah, so this was the basic concept of molarity and concentration. So if you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, share with friends, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.